It's your girl, Nosy Rosie. Thanks for being here. Like, subscribe, and let's get right to it. Love and Marriage Huntsville. And all I have to say is Latisha Scott, the jig is up. I could be wrong, but from the outside looking in, it feels like you and Marceau have come to an agreement regarding the alleged cheating. It feels like the two of you have decided to keep the details off of the television screen by any means necessary. And I'm not mad about that. But if I'm being honest, the reason why everyone, women in particular, are coming for you, Latisha, is because it feels like you lack accountability in a serious way. It feels like you have your husband's back at the expense of yourself. It feels like once the It feels like you were once the sweet girl that has been overlooked and you're smelling yourself over morsels of success. And that is frustrating, extremely frustrating. It feels like you really looked up to Mel and aspired to be very much like her because you no longer it feels like you really looked up to Mel and at one point aspired to be very much like her. But because you no longer like her anymore, we're supposed to buy into you pretending that that was never the case. It feels like your relationship with Kimmy has went to garbage because you want her to blindly have your back. It feels like you want us to believe that you're a boss when it's looking like that 85% is yours on paper for government benefits, but your primary responsibility is wife and mother. And again, nobody's mad at that. The problem is it is annoying that you are so immature and so focused on everyone else, your disdain for Melody, your issue with your cousin coming to the front after she after you allegedly told her business. We just want you to stand on who you are. If it's a mistake, it's a mistake. What's worse is you come across as being extremely smart. You come across as someone with the potential of being a good friend. But most of us can't focus on that because we are at a time where we celebrate people for being themselves unapologetically. And you, after all of these seasons, have yet to do that. You are not the only woman that has lost herself in motherhood. You are not the only woman that has been with the man that doesn't always do her right. You are not the only woman in the world to have insecurities or to cry or to make herself inferior to someone that allegedly cheated on you, or even a woman that pretends not to know. But stay with me because I'm going to come back to that point. Latisha, if you were anything close to what you try and portray yourself to be, you would stand on at least some of that and allow the world to experience it with you. You signed up to be on this reality show. Let us take that ride with you. Inspire us. Yes, some people are going to judge you no matter what, but we're not talking about those people. We're talking about the people that you yourself say you're aiming to inspire. We would respect it because we can relate to it. We would feel empowered by it and root for you. We will root for the day that you overcome whatever it is. But the fact that you put on this mask and wear it like it's a badge of honor makes people like it invites a lack of respect. It's like a dog that constantly barks, constantly runs after people, moves like it's ready to defend, whoever, its home. But when it opens its mouth, it has no teeth. Like, imagine a dog barking, chasing you up and down the street, but then finally you realize it has no teeth. It's a joke at that point. And that is disappointing. It's disappointing because you are a gorgeous woman. And again, you are educated and you have proven to be multifaceted. For so many reasons, you are really out of Marceau's league, but it's like you don't see that. And after all these seasons after seasons, with the money and the long-winded conversations, it feels like you have not evolved. So for me, that's why a lot of us can't rock with you. It's like you're a reminder of our low vibrational selves. You're a personification of that set group of women that stand by a no good man no matter what. And it's exhausting. It's not because you are quote unquote submissive. It's not because you were at one time just a housewife. There's nothing wrong with that if being those things brings you happiness. But it's the fact that you clearly want to be more than just a mother, more than just a wife, and that you aspire to be this boss. You aspire to be the face of companies. You aspire to be this strong woman, whatever that means. So if you want to use your voice, use it, but use it on the right things. And even when you are wrong, face it. Face that wrong. I get that we only get the edited versions of the truth, but I feel like even after the cut and paste, there's this essence that's left behind. We may not see all of the conversations when the camera goes down. We may not see what was chopped up and didn't make it after it came through the editing floor, but the essence of who you are is what we are experiencing right now. And this could be just where you are in your life at this moment. I want to be all of these things, but I'm exempt from accountability. I'm exempt from acknowledging the truth. I get to play the role of being the boss in front of these cameras, but behind the scenes, I'm still in bondage to things that no longer serve me in a way that they once did. I'm trying to evolve, but I'm stuck ball and chain to a person that does not welcome that. And when he does, it's only to an extent. That's sad to watch. We're rooting for someone that embodies all of these beautiful things, but they're only scratching the surface. You're only scratching the surface of what you have to offer because you're being held back. And that's why it's hard to be a stand for Tisha, because she isn't one for herself. It feels like Marceau is willing to run over dead bodies to not only hold her back, but keep her from the truth. This man manipulates her out of every friendship, at this point, every cousinship, because he knows what they know and doesn't want you, Latisha, enlightened in that way. So, girl, I just wanted to focus on that for a minute and give my little spill on why I personally feel Tisha has so many people that aren't feeling her, because people are attracted to confidence. And she just does not exude that. Now, getting to the only thing that really mattered to me in this most recent episode, we see that Kiki is pissed. And I personally feel like, based on what we, the public, have seen, she has every right to be. We already know at this point that she could have been on the show seasons ago, but Tisha and Marceau put in Mel's ear, whoever's ear, that she was on drugs and maybe, is a risk to production, whatever the case. They told her business. And so I would be pissed too, because how are you, my cousin, telling my personal business, something that is quite embarrassing? And now that I'm mad about that and I'm defending myself, meanwhile, at the same time, not really letting the cat out the bag and telling the world what it is. You want me to move like you didn't tell my business, move like you haven't snaked me, all the while I have all of this tea on you and I'm still standing in the gap for you. Some might say, oh, you're cousins, so you shouldn't go that low. Just because she did X to you don't mean you need to do Z to her. And I can understand that too. If they were not on a reality show and cousins without a camera, I would say y'all would talk about it. You did this to me. I feel you were wrong. And if Tisha were the type of person to take accountability, she would say, yes, I'm wrong. I should not have done that. Can we move on? And at that point, they will work on their relationship. But we are not without a camera. This is a reality show. And as we all know, if you want to make a good show and you're really doing your job, you're going to tell things as they come. So we see Kiki sit down with Mel from last episode, which this episode opened up on that same scene. She sits down with Mel and she's explaining that this person has come to her and exposed Marceau for cheating or having threesomes, allegedly. And she goes on to say she tried to talk to Tisha about it, invited Tisha over. Tisha was supposed to come over, never showed up. And Tisha talked to her on the phone and said something like, I can't believe you would do that, or I feel like you betrayed. I can't remember. But to sum it up, Kiki was confused by Tisha's response, because it came off to me like Tisha was spinning the situation to say, you're the one that went to seek out this information. How can you do this to me? How can you do this to me? And it feels like Kiki is saying, I did not do that. Had you had come over and I was able to sit down and talk to you about it, you would know that, but you didn't. And we see that Mel is, listening. She seems extremely surprised and taken aback. But at the same time, she's kind of like, that her energy was giving, wow, this is a lot, but at least someone else knows the truth, or at least someone else is validating what I know to be the truth. And here we are. So we get to the ghetto barbecue. Folding chairs, fold out table, they playing spades, whatever. And we see Kiki walk in. She's speaking to everybody. She tries to give Latisha a hug. Latisha's not feeling her. And at this point, I feel like, again, Latisha and Marceau have made a decision prior to coming into that scene. Just give her no play, ignore, 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 and she won't have anyone to talk to. So that's how we will escape that situation. And Kiki at this point is extremely irritated. It feels like she was a volcano waiting to erupt. I hate that she allowed Tisha ignoring her to be the thing that caused her to really, throw the cards across the table, throw water on her. I hate that because while I understand that she's probably been taking a lot, and up until this season or some of last season, it feels like she has never really had the platform or the opportunity to pretty much come out and say something for herself. It just feels like there's been this narrative that has been picked up on and ran with by other people. And there's been so much stuff going on allegedly behind the scenes. It just seems like all of those things have come to the forefront. And so the volcano erupted. And again, that goes back to everything that I said before. It really feels like Tisha knew Marceau allegedly cheated or cheats. She's playing the role because she prefers to deal with it outside of the camera. And she's mad at Kiki for bringing it up on the show. Now, honestly, if we were to take away from Latisha and Marceau allegedly telling Melody or whoever that Kiki does drugs or steals, whatever they told her, if we were to take that away and it was just, oh, Kiki's trying to get on the show, so now she's going to tell Tisha's business, then I would say I would totally back up Tisha. But it feels like you want me to protect you, but you weren't protecting me. It feels like you wanted to stop my bag and didn't want me on this show standing alongside of you. I could have been your teammate a long time ago. I could have backed you up when you was going head to head with this person. But not only did you throw me under the bus, you didn't want me on the show. You continue to allow your husband to manipulate you against everybody else. And so I don't give a damn anymore. So I'm not mad. I am not mad at Kiki. I can totally understand it if the situation really is what it's playing out to be. And again, I cannot help but feel like this is all Marceau's doing. It feels like when he does something and he feels like, oh, I'm caught, or oh, this person is onto it, or oh, they heard about it, or oh, here goes another rumor. I got to figure out, how to not take accountability for it. It feels like he throws in some interference, and that interference is typically to tell Tisha whatever he wants her to know, manipulate her mind against this person, because if she is not having relationships and friendships, she is not in the know. And not only that, now she's looking at them like there's somebody coming for her. Obviously Marceau is her husband. That's who she lays down with that night. So he's 10 steps ahead of everybody. So he's knowing this information is coming down the pipeline. So let me get on top of this and let me spin this narrative real fast. And let me focus on the fact that you and your cousin already have a contentious relationship. So let me remind you of all of these things. Let us focus on the fact that she was on drugs. Let us focus on the fact that the only reason why Melody wants to say this is because she's going through this herself and she doesn't want you to be happy. It really feels like that. But even more than that, the reason why it's so cold is because Latisha is not stupid. So everything that we think she is actually playing that part. And that's what I mean by she will defend her husband and be a stand for him, even at her own expense. Because it's like, I know what the truth is, but I'm mad that you're putting my truth out there. And you're my cousin. And oh, like she said on the reunion, Kiki was my girl. Kiki was my girl. So yeah, I told her some things, basically insinuating, allegedly, that in private I have told her how Marceau has done X, Y, and Z, or how I suspected him of allegedly cheating. But even though I have done things that are considered a betrayal to her, she doing me wrong. And that is her defending her husband and not even herself, which is sad. Which is sad. Just like if we go back to the very first reunion and Latisha is arguing with Melody and Martell, which we know they were like Jordan and Scotty pimping. Melody and Martell back then was going up for each other. Tisha over there, she got her husband. You thinking that they would be Kobe and Shaq against Jordan and Scotty. But Tisha left out there by herself to defend her team. And the only reason why Marceau didn't say anything, because he knew if I open my mouth, then Martell is going to tell my truth. So I'm going to sit up here and allow my wife to be drugged, and I'm going to let her be so wrong. And she's only wrong because she's defending me, defending things that are based on lies and manipulation. And I'm just going to sit here and be on mute. And that was what, 5 years ago? And you mean to tell me you're going to try to tell me this woman that's super educated can't put two and two together? She knows. As far as Marceau allegedly cheating, at the end of the day, she can say all day long, it ain't no proof until nothing came to me. When Kiki said on that reunion last year and said Latisha found a picture in Marceau's phone, that was proof. So that was a lie when she said that. She's just willing to say anything she can not to make herself look stupid. But going back to my earlier point, if she was the woman that she says she is, she would stand on what is real. Yes, we have gone through this, and this is how we're dealing with it. Yes, I have experienced that, and this is how I'm dealing with it. But she goes out of her way, wants to backflip and do cartwheels to keep from acknowledging the truth, because in her mind, in my personal opinion, if I'm going to get real nosy about it, that is the one thing she feels like she has over Melody. Yeah, you can be all of this, but my man didn't cheat and I still got a marriage going on, when it's not even the truth, allegedly. So for anyone, everybody has their opinion about Kiki. And again, if they weren't on the show, I would, me personally, back up my cousin, and in private, we handle our business. But they are on the show. And my cousin ain't backing me up. So, Latisha, I really hope and pray that you wake up one day, sis, because it is very much giving that you are in the salon, sis. And that's why we can't rock with you. Anywho, that's all I have for you guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. Honestly, tell me how you feel about the episode. You disagree with something I say? Let's talk about it in the comment section. Let's argue. Until then.